Navin?
Hello. Jai Jinendra, welcome to all of you all. I welcome all the participants on the YouTube, all the viewers for your enthusiastic participation. Almost every Saturday, I can see some of you all repeating, being present to view all our panelists and encourage them to learn from them and so on. I also welcome all our panelists, Riddhi Gala. We also have Riddhi Maru, Richa Gala, Dr. Richa Gala, and Hitmee Gala. Very proud of the four of you all. Welcome all the four of you all for this panel discussion. I'm sure you'll make it very interesting. I would just like to say that Shri KVO Stanakwasi Majan Sanchalit Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji KVO Kanya Kadavni Fund takes great pride in welcoming all of you all to this panel discussion. The most important of this discussion is that along with your curricular achievements, which you anyways have, you also have a lot of other things to showcase. You have pursued your passion, your hobbies, you have grown nationally, internationally, in many different ways. And I'm sure this sharing will be very good for the parents and for the other students who will view it today live or maybe view it later on. Because we get a lot of feedback from young students that they have been viewing this and these sessions have been inspirational. We hope that this continues to be so. Our endeavor is to showcase talent of young girls, uh, the BCSMA awardees right now. And we are very proud of all the four of them who have been the awardees in some way or the other, either the topper or they have been the runner up or maybe the second position. You are still very unique for all of us. Uh, Without taking much time, I would just like to introduce the organization. As many of you all who have been viewing this session continuously, you may find it a repetition, but for those of you who come and view this session only for the first time, I would just like to say that this trust, Matushri Manibai Trust, has been instituted 53 years back. I'm sure that time the girls' education was not so popular. In fact, education, even amongst boys in the KVO community, was not so common. It was only pursued till you can say a graduation, and girls hardly went for higher education after 10th. They learned the skills of homemaking at home and thought that is the only skills that would be required for them to fulfill their responsibilities of the home. But gradually, child rearing has been challenging. Economic challenges have also been there. Besides that, women wanted to pursue their own dreams. They want to fulfill their aspirations. They want to hone different skills, professional skills. And that's what Matushri Manibai has been able to achieve. And today we have hundreds and thousands of KVO girls who are educated up to sometimes even super specialization and doctorates. This trust has supported many such students professionally in different ways. One is in funding them in the form of scholarships and or interest-free loans. It also supports the girls by guiding them to various careers, seeing to it that the all-round development happens of these girl students, looking into their resources and what are their strengths. So we also do aptitude test. We also conduct different types of, you can say, we have career seminars. We do have day with professionals. So there are different ways in which the students is exposed to various careers. And these careers range from arts, commerce, science, engineering, medicine, vocational design, and so on and so forth. Besides that, the trust has also had three major projects where we are identifying student achievers. And that is the BCSMA award, the Bhartiben Chimanlal award that I just mentioned, which is instituted by the parent family, the donor family. We have a numerous different variety of aspects which are evaluated in the winning students. Basically, all the student applicants for us are winners because they have moved few steps ahead of the others and applied for a scholarship. This is a merit scholarship. This is not a need-based scholarship. So their academic achievements, their co-curricular achievements are looked into, plus they have group assessments, they have individual personal interviews, a written test, online aptitude test. So there is multiple of facets in which the student is evaluated. And finally, those winners and those toppers, those runner-ups, those rankers are the ones whom we are presenting over here. So we also congratulate these panelists at the same time, welcome more applicants for the same. Besides this, we also have Shrimati Kalaben Mahendrabhai Cheda, Prince Parivar, who has also supported the girl education by identifying those students who have been admitted in premier institutes, who have made their place into esteemed universities and institutes in the nation and internationally. So this particular project is supporting them financially and giving them recognition, not only for the first year while they seek admission, but also throughout while they study. We also have a very, very important project, which is Shrimati Premilaben Lakshmichand Kumarji Nanji Kenya family, which is given, which has instituted this project for the girl students who wishes to go internationally for education. So we do give interest-free loans for the girl student to pursue her dreams internationally to any foreign country. And besides all these projects, we do have educational programs, webinars, and several other things. In the past, we've had resource people going from region to region in different parts of Mumbai. Western suburbs, central Mumbai, southern Mumbai, so on. Today, in the last 3 months or 3.5 months since the lockdown has started, we started planning, and almost the last 2 months, we have been very active on this particular media of YouTube. What we have done is we've conducted certain webinar series. One was Tip from Toppers. This is Tips from Champions. In the evening, we have Tips from Champions International. Sunday, we have Apna Time Aayega. These are for startups, entrepreneurs, business ideas, business diversification, and so on. We've also conducted training program in digital marketing, 10 sessions, 6 sessions on e-commerce. We've also had 12 sessions on Lakshya, that is a managerial, it is an entrepreneurship program. We've also conducted sessions on French because language plays an important role in our own success. So we've started with French, we are going to do many more languages. We've also had a session on Scratch, that's the basic coding program. And from tomorrow onwards, we are starting on app development. So for the children. So we do have programs for women, for young girls, and of course, we are not gender biased. So our educational programs extend to the span of men also. And there have been many young boys and men who have taken advantage of all these educational programs. With these few words of the trust, I would just like to thank all the trustees, the office bearers, and the committee members of the past and the present who continuously strive to make the dreams of the founders get fulfilled. The dream is to empower the girl student. And therefore, we believe all our KVO daughters need to be empowered, because if they are empowered, their families are empowered. If families are empowered, the community is empowered. And naturally, if the community is empowered, the nation is empowered. So we believe that although it's a drop in the ocean, but we believe that every drop is important. So we would like you to be connected, to continue your connection with this trust. And this is a very good medium, the YouTube channel, where we are getting connected. So without taking much more time now, I will begin to introduce our young panelist. And I will go on to begin with Hitmee Alpa Deepak Gala, who is from village Desalpur, lives in Ghatkopar. Riddhi Daksha Mahesh Gadda from village Motalaija, lives in Kandivli. We have Dr. Richa Rekha Nemji Gala from village Sarau, lives in Vileparla. And we have Riddhi Jyoti Jayant Maru from village Halapur, lives in Mulund. I have the honor to present all these four champions of today, and we will hear their story one by one. I have not given more introduction because I know that they are the ones who can sing their stories more better than what we can do for them. Thank you very much, all the four of you all, for your participation. And may we begin with Hitmee. Hitmee, off to you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Riddhi Alpa Deepak Gala.
Can you be louder? Hitmee, please be louder.
Hello, can you hear me?
Louder, still louder.
Hello.
Yeah, this is better.
Good evening, everyone. Before starting my presentation, I would first like to thank Ila ma'am for your immense support. And I'm really, really grateful for you to give me this opportunity to speak on this webinar. So I would like to begin.
Down you will have, okay, you can go to the left from beginning. On top left. Yeah, just, no, not that way. From beginning is written. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I would just like to give a gist of my life and what I have learned so far and what I have faced till now. So describing my school life first. So I was quite an average student, not so good in studies, but I used to take part in a lot of extracurricular activities. I have learned calligraphy, I've learned Casio, I've learned I've learned basketball and a lot more other things. So, adding here, I just want to say that finding your passion and your hobby is a trial and error method. You try new things, and that in that process you develop yourself and you create your own personality. I want to narrate one incident. As I said, I was quite an average student, and maths was something that always used to haunt me. But when I entered my eighth grade, I had this math teacher uh, who who made math so interesting for me that I started to like that subject, and I developed interest into that subject. And I started working hard on that subject, and I scored really good marks in that term. Due to that, I realized my actual potential, and I started working hard into my academics. This might be a very small experience for someone, but for me, it really changed my course of life towards academics. And I started working hard, and it really helped me in my ninth and 10th grade, and I came out with flying colors. So that's all about my school life. Coming to my junior college, so after my 10th, I had shortlisted two career options. One was commerce, where I had to pursue CA and join my dad into his already established practice in CA. And the other option was to opt for science and go into the medical field. The latter option did have the condition that I would have to establish my career on my own and establish it on my own feet. But my instincts pursued me to opt for science. A lot of people did question me that why am I choosing science when I already have a commerce background where my dad is a CA and I have a established business, but I still opted for science. And after 4 years of my education in the science field, I can confidently say that that was the best decision that I took in my life. And it so I just want to highlight here something that it's okay sometimes to trust your instincts and connect the dots because nobody knows what life has to offer. So you might have to face a lot of obstacles and hardships. You might have to put in a lot of extra efforts, but what awaits you at the end is totally worth the efforts. So I started preparing for my NEET, which is the common medical entrance exam. I gave my NEET. After my NEET exam, I had a long break. During that break, I joined an NGO called Cope with Cancer. It's a charitable trust for cancer patients at Tata Hospital, which works for the well-being of the cancer patients. It provides them with basic needs like food and shelter, and it also provides them with guidance how to go about the treatment. I also joined as an observer at physiotherapy OPD at Hindu Sabha Hospital in Ghatkopan. So all this gave me a broad perspective of what I was stepping into about the medical field, and beforehand, even before I started my curricular in the medical field, and which really helped me a lot. Moving on to my degree college. So after the NEET results came out, I got admission in Mahatma Gandhi Mission's College of Physiotherapy, and I'm currently in my second year bachelor's of physiotherapy. Uh, so during my 2 years of academics, which I have come so far, uh, we, along with the theoretical and practical knowledge that we gain in college, what I learned the most is that how to interact with a lot of different kinds of people, how to enhance my communication skills, how to enhance my technical skills, how to and various cultural events and college fest uh, help me with my overall development and of my personality. So that is about my degree college. Uh, Going on to my lockdown life. So before my prelims exam were about to happen, due to the COVID-19 crisis, which everyone is aware about, we were all locked down in our houses. This lockdown really gave me the opportunity to focus on the little things in my life, to focus on my hobbies, which otherwise was not possible due to the tight packed schedule that we have every day. So I attended various webinars related to my field, or even personality development webinars or communication skills based webinars. I even took out my soft pastels box which was lying in my cupboard for a really long time untouched. And I started drawing, and this is what I have created so far. I made greeting cards, I made using punch craft. I even learned how to cook. So this lockdown made me realize that it is important to focus on your hobbies along with your professional life, uh, and never to sit idle, because as you learn new things, you develop yourself and you develop your personality. One more exciting thing that happened during this lockdown is when I went to a 10-day screening camp as a medical student to screen people living in the containment zones in Malad and Goregaon region. So we were a team of almost 30 female medical students, and we screened around 10,000 people in the span of 7 days. So it was not just about screening people, but the whole process. What I learned the most was that the hardships that people face during this lockdown is beyond imagination. And I really feel lucky that I have all the facilities provided by my parents, and wearing the PPE kit for 5 hours without food, without water is not a cakewalk. And I salute to all the COVID workers which are at the front line, including the medical and non-medical staff, for working day and night to help us get over this global pandemic crisis. uh, and the amount of respect that we got from the people and the cooperation that they provided us, that really made the 10-day screening camp a lot more easier. So this was all about my lockdown. And I would like to add one more thing, that no matter where you go in your life or what you achieve in your life, never forget your roots and your religion. For me personally, Jainism is something that has always kept me grounded and stuck to my roots. Uh, it is not just about following the rituals or fasting or anything. It's about the ideologies and principles that it depicts, and it is something that will always bring me to the right path when I have been misguided or I am on some immoral path. So that's all about my presentation. Thanks all of you for listening to me. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Hitmee. We really appreciate your efforts, especially in the COVID period, all the risks that you've taken for the laymen who were who are who were suffering from COVID, and we wish you all the best in this particular aspect of life that you as a medical student is exposed to, and we wish you good health also. What I really liked was the journey at school, the math not being good, and then the math became your turning point. So sometimes failures are stepping stones, very well presented, and then you became a topper in Marathi. And the challenge that you took up of not selecting the field that was very easily offered to you, moving out from the path of the easily available career to a path which was your aspiration. We'll get back to you with more questions. Can we move ahead with Riddhi?
Yes, ma'am.
So Riddhi Gada. Share screen.
So, thank you, Ila ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to talk about my journey from a student to a language node. A brief bio about myself. My name is Riddhi Daksha Mahesh Gada. I live in Kandivali, Gam, Motalaija. I'm a language nerd. I'm a polyglot who knows more than 7 languages. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a sport enthusiast. And I'm an idealist who aspires to influence young minds through education and languages. As Ilamam said, languages are life. There's a specific reason why I have written languages over there. So, about my educational background, this is my journey from an immature, underconfident, hasty decision maker to a matured, wise, and a confident tutor and a professional translator. My school was Children's Academy. There's never enough I can talk about my school. That's been the turning point of my life. Whatever I am today is all because of the learnings from my school. This is when sports was introduced in my life. I'm a national level sports player, captain of my team, winner of all KVO tournaments with best spiker awards. However, in my ninth standard, I then get selected for an international level tournament. In 10th standard, my team lost because of me for a state level selection. Moving on to my junior college, I was a commerce student and I went to Nursing Munji College. This is when I scored 90 plus percent in one of the SEM exams. However, I failed an account subject in the very first exam of my junior college. Moving on to my degree college, I was a student of Bachelor's of Management Studies, specialization marketing. I was the topper of my marketing class with a CGPA of 10. However, this is when I lost most of my friends, which radically changed me as a person. You all must be wondering why am I talking about my failures more than my success? Because it is important to talk about your failures. And I feel often on such platforms where people talk about their success, achievement stories, and winning stories, failures has to be spoken to. And that is why I believe that these failures have pushed me towards my goal and my success. Moving on to my professional education. This phase of my life is when I learned languages. This phase of my life which I'm most thankful and blessed to have. This entire phase is about learning languages, which drastically changed me as a person and what I am today. I learned French language. I've qualified DAV C1 from Alliance Française de Bombay, and I'm a professional translator and a tutor. However, I failed my DAV C1 in the very first attempt, and I got rejected by a lot of companies for a role of translator. Moving on to my second foreign language, I chose Mandarin. I've completed my HSK 1 and 2. Mandarin is a very tough language, and I had thoughts of quitting it. But as it is said, when life gets tough, you get tougher. And I'm successfully continuing my HSK level 3 along with HSKK spoken level number 1. My whole intention here to talk about failures and highlight failures more than the success is to normalize failures. It's okay to talk about it. Let people know about your failures. Only then you can overcome it and ace it with your success. And as it is clearly said, it's okay to fail because it will make your TED Talks longer. My first frame is of all my trophies for volleyball. These trophies are my constant reminders of the hard work that I've done, and they keep me grounded and yet very confident. I still remember during my junior college and degree college, I used to wake up at 7 a.m., go to library, study for the entire day, and then at 6:30 p.m. I used to go for volleyball practice and come home at 11:30, carrying all the dabbas for the day because junk food was never an option and the only means of transport was local train. The second frame is my graduation day. The third frame is when I completed my HSKK spoken course. And the fourth, one of the most memorable photo for me, is when in 10th standard I was the torch bearer for my school sports day. One of the most inspiring quotes of Thomas Edison: I have not failed. I've just found thousand ways that won't work. Here are some photos of sports, volleyball, and there's one photo of one of the KVO tournaments with Ila ma'am, who's always got our back. One of the important life lessons that sports taught me is persistence, hard work, and never giving up. Moving on to my professional upfront, learn a new language so that your world will be a new world. And inspired by this quote, I started building my professional career in languages. I'm a professional translator for French language since 2018. And I chose to be a tutor because I believe in giving back to the society. And I'm a French tutor since for more than 4 years now. I'm a tutor consultant at Ye China for Mandarin language. One of my favorite quotes for teaching is by Gal Godwin, as he quotes, "Good teaching is one fourth preparation and three fourth theater." I'm very much inspired by this quote. And here are some pictures of me and my students for Mandarin and French language. Also, one of the major life lessons that tutoring gave me is patience. You have to be patient in life while not only dealing with kids of 3 to 4 years, but also with adults. Coming on to my awards and recognition, platform like platform like this that we have right now, platform like DDKF, platform like LNMs, they keep us inspired to achieve more and help us develop holistically. I've been a runner-up at BCSMA 2016, LNMA 2016. I still remember back in 2016 when I met Ila ma'am for the very first time, and it was BCSMA GDPI session. So it's not about just the prizes that you get, it's about the kind of people you meet. Your network enlarges. And personally, I have met so many experts from various different fields who have helped me grow my career and my profession. I'm also a winner at LNMA 2019 graduation category. So my whole ideology, when KVO Samaj is offering us so many opportunities to excel in our life, I believe in the ideology of giving it back to the society. And one of my ways in which I give back is by volunteering. I'm a volunteer at Career Guidance Seminar Day with the Professionals at DDKF. And I've participated at various months also, DDKF being one of them. So here are some photos. The second frame is from Career Guidance Seminar 2018 and the day with the professional. And the next two photos are from MUN. So what's next? Where are we heading? What's the future? What is the take away from this presentation? One of my life lessons that I would like to share with you all is about failures. Failures are important, failures are a must. However, dedication and a never say die attitude to try and try and try again till you win. Because at the end, you will come back stronger and successful. Thank you. For any feedback or further details, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Great, Riddhi, to hear from you. We have seen you grow, we've seen you succeed step by step. And I think you have been a very good sportswoman. You've also been a good academician. As far as teaching is concerned, you've been a good volunteer, you've been a good student, and so on. So we really congratulate you. I think you've taken all opportunities, you've converted challenges into opportunities. What we really like about you is that how you have showcased your failures, because failures are the ones who take you further. And we'll get back to you with more questions, Riddhi. And now we wait to hear Dr. Richa Gala.
Hello. Firstly, thank you, Dr. Ela and MMS DKKF for organizing such a wonderful interactive webinar. I will start my screen sharing now. all are safe and healthy. My name is Dr. Richa Gala, and I'm a dentist. I acquired my Bachelor in Dental Surgery degree from Nashik. I went on further to do Masters in Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, meaning it's the surgery of your lower two-thirds of your jaw. It involves your cheeks, lips, your jawline, wisdom tooth surgeries. So I acquired Masters in that. Furthermore, I went on to do fellowship in cleft and craniofacial surgery, which is accredited by CCI, that is Cleft Children International. It means to do surgeries on babies and kids who have birth defects on their lip and on the roof of the inside of their mouth. Today, I will be talking about 4 key points in this presentation. The first point being perseverance. So when I was studying dentistry in Nashik, I was living in a hostel. And I lived for 5 years in a hostel. So every time during exam, I would sleep and I would study on the stairs. Like I would just not go in my room because I wanted to study more. And I was really scared that if I even sleep for more than 1 hour, that was not acceptable for me. So all my 5 years, if the exam is for 5 days, I would be sleeping on the stairs. Once the exam would get over, we didn't even have proper beds, you know. So at that point, even a cot seemed to be like luxury to me. And then once the exam was over, I would just crash on the cot. Also in Nashik, there was something called as load shedding, which means that when you have the hottest period of the day, which is afternoon, we didn't have electricity for nearly 2 to 3 hours every single day. Also, we had to be very disciplined. So if you don't wake up early, you're not going to get a hot shower. So a cold shower awaits you. But the goal was to achieve what you have decided to get the degree. And hence it was always about moving forward, and hence perseverance is a key. The main thing is that hard work and hardships, they are cornerstones of achieving success. But today, for everyone, I want to share something which we all can aspire to reach the sky. And hence, my second key is inventing yourself. So passion is something that makes you chase it to that point of high. And then all the steps that you take to reach that point of your passion is defined as your journey, and hence you inventing yourself. How I did that is, I'm going to share it with you in this slide, is if you see at this picture, it's of Queen Nefertiti. Now, she is supposed to be the most beautiful Egyptian queen. Now, based on cosmetic surgery, beauty is defined by geometric proportions of your face. So Queen Nefertiti is regarded to have the most perfect facial alignment. And because of the proportion and the alignment of her face, she has been regarded as the most beautiful Egyptian queen to have ever lived. In current times, I would love to ask you this question is, who is the most beautiful actress in Hollywood? I would love to get some answers from the audience if possible. Okay, you're right. So the answer is Angelina Jolie. The reason why she's the most beautiful person on planet Earth currently is because she has been given the exact same Queen Nefertiti's profile. Now, the surgeon who made Angelina Jolie so beautiful, his name is Professor Dr. Herman Zeiler. Now, I came to know about this article when I was just a first-year master's student. And if you can see, his name starts with doctor, which means he had an MBBS degree, then he went on to do dental degree. He also went on to do master's in oral and maxillofacial degree. And then he also did PhD as well. So he's a doctor and a doctorate degree as well. And if you can see, he has so many degrees up his crown. So the few questions that I was asking to myself was, I just wanted to meet him for 5 minutes. That's about it. I didn't know it would happen. I did not know how it would happen, but I just knew that I had to meet him. And after 4 years, I finally got to meet him in Zurich. By that time, I was already working for him in via Cleft Children International. And I did get to meet him for 5 minutes and more. I also got to assist with him in a cosmetic surgery in a Zurich hospital. So the next day at 8 a.m., the surgery was been scheduled. And for me, the definition of being on time is basically being late. And if you want to get something more than what you're expecting, is you have to be before time. So I was ecstatic to see the surgery. So I reached the Zurich hospital at 6 o'clock. I got up at 4 a.m. I reached at 6 o'clock. And to my surprise, I saw Professor Zeiler there. And I got private tutoring, private lessons from him at that point. So after that surgery, I invented myself. And that surgery, it just completely changed my world. Like then there was no turning back. The third key point that I would like to mention is to draw inspiration. So this is a picture we had just taken after Professor Zeiler finished operating a continuous, non-stop 12-hour surgery. And he's 72 years of age. And I had just finished assisting him for 12 hours. So take a moment today and ask yourself, when you will be of 72 years of age, will you still have that passion to work for 12 hours non-stop? And if you do, and if your answer is yes, then go ahead, like just go ahead and do what you really love to do. I come to my last key point is in life, you may have times, hopefully, I hope, you don't go through it, but if in life, if everything is taken away from you, every single thing is taken away from you, but you need to know that there is something called as faith and hope. And if you have faith within you and faith within God, then nobody can take that faith away from you. So my last key point is the leap of faith. It can be in any form. It can be via spirituality or via nature. I took my leap of faith the James Bond style. So if you see in the picture, that's the dam, and I kind of bungee jumped from that dam 750 meters down. So just take a leap of faith, do bungee jumping, do what makes you thrive with passion, and that is all I have to say. So thank you for listening to me, and I'm happy to answer to all your questions as well.
You'll have to stop the slideshow.
Yes, the cursor is not moving in. Okay.
Thank you so much. It was really very inspiring, especially your Zurich experience. And of course, all the lessons, and not to forget, not to be on time, but to be before time. So, Richa, I think with your very lovely accent, international, because you have an exposure to an international education, I think you have a very good poise of voice. I must say that is also your strength. And
Thank you.
it was really lovely listening to you. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of questions for you too. And now we have the last speaker, Riddhi again.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Dr. Ila Redhya. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah. Louder, just a little louder.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ila Redhya, for inviting me for such a talk. I must say that it has not only inspired, I think, prospective students, but also us to aspire more higher goals in the future now So today I would be talking about my academic journey and co-curricular activities that I took up during that period. I would also be talking about my professional life and future aspirations that I have for myself. Lastly, I would be talking about some key points or some key ideas that the viewers can take away from my experiences and learnings. So I'll delve into my academic journey and co-curriculars first. I had a very modest schooling, a very small school. I soon realized I was good in academics, and I participated in a lot of elocutions, inter-school science festivals, writing competitions, quizzes, and I won some prizes also for the school. Um, Everything was fine and chilled out up until the most dreaded 10th grade came in, and I happened to do well on those as well. Quite unusually at Crossroads, I decided to take up humanities arts, which was quite a rebellious act at that time, much to the surprise and shock of my family and relatives. I was quite resolute on that. I did my bachelor's in psychology from St. Xavier's College Autonomous. The reason why I chose to do humanities was to take up psychology. Um, I was most interested to study about the human behavior as to why do we behave the way we do, what ticks people, and that's why I did my bachelor's in St. Xavier's College. St. Xavier's, the campus is one of its kind, which kind of uh, you know makes you involved in a lot of um, co-curriculars in itself, a lot of opportunities for you to hone your skills besides academics. I was in for a culture shock over there because there were a lot of eloquent, very well-versed students and well-exposed students. But over the next few years, I just grew as a person amidst those. I subsequently did my master's in clinical psychology from SNDT University. So some of the voluntary work that I did was in the field of was in teaching, mostly teaching educators in, these are some pictures from those voluntary work that I did. The last picture um, is from Indian music group, which I had participated. So we used to organize these events where we would host eminent musicians, Indian music um, singers or musicians on those. So which brings me to the co-curricular. I have got training in Hindustani classical music, Gandharva Mahavidyalaya. Um, so my mother's, that's because of my mother's relentless, push and shove on, for me to pursue singing. And she would actually show me on the stage. And as much as I used to hate it back then, um, I'm really grateful for her for doing that. I participated in some drama during school years and later. Uh, I'll talk about my professional life and future aspirations now. I interned at many government hospitals during that time. Um, I learned how fortunate we are, how privileged we are I still remember vividly, the first case that I, took up. Me and my colleague were supposed to take case history of this very young mother who was suffering from bipolar disorder with psychotic features. And, patients with bipolar tend to talk a lot. They have pressured speech, they have flight of ideas, and we were so young and naive and inexperienced that we didn't want to miss anything, so we ended up writing 10 pages long of histories each. And from there to now, I've just grown as a person, having worked in multiple places. um, I have worked as a school counselor, as a school psychologist. um, what I have kept in mind is to work in places which, within the field of psychology, a more specialized field which is close to my heart, which I'm passionate about, is working with children and adolescents, um, education, school mental health. So these have been, my focus has been to find, work or to do research even in these areas of within psychology. Um, so this is what even I would recommend. I would recommend people who are viewing this, this forum, that to take up professions, specialized professions within the specialization. Um, I saw to it that I got trainings also subsequently that were relevant to those future aspirations that I have for myself. Um, so these are some pictures from my work. Lastly, I'll talk about what can be taken away from my experience. As I said, develop a niche expertise, whatever you do. If you are an engineer, a lot of engineers, what sets you apart? Develop a skill, or a skill which is very much, you can have an interest in that, and also see to it that you get more trainings and practice in that particular, um, you know um, a particular field within the field. Get out of the cocoon. So one of the reasons why I moved to NIMHANS, which has been, I worked as a research fellow in NIMHANS because I wanted to pursue PhD at some point. Um, but it was only fitting to, take up some small, short time research experience, so that a more prolonged commitment of taking up PhD, it supports that. So I took up that job and I learned, I got a mentor over there. What I learned also is to be independent, that to be on your own without your, family. We often forget how provided we are over here. So this is what I really hope that young people, to get out of the cocoon, a very provided, sheltered life. You would be empowered at the end of the day when you, do things on your own, which otherwise is taken care of by people around you. So grab opportunities with both hands. Sometimes we are reluctant, hesitant of something that is new. Um, get over it, because it is going to be for some time, and you are eventually going to get something out of it. Um, hone your professional skills. Professional skills do not develop out of, like right out of your graduation, you have all the skills. It doesn't happen. You have to keep practicing those skills. I have met very good psychologists in, NIMHANS, which has been one of my, I think, dream places to study from. um, you've seen these professionals, and yet they were so grounded, and they would talk as if, oh, we still don't know about this, I would like to go get back to my books and study. So education doesn't stop, which is why I also, this also, after doing my bachelor's and some certification, I do aspire to take up more graduate, studies, more specialized professional trainings in future. Ask questions. Sometimes we may think our questions are very stupid, they are not relevant. Ask away. You're going to get some information out of it. um, Pursue a hobby. I cannot stop emphasizing how, how grateful I am to my mom for, to kind of push me to pursue hobbies, whatever you like. It's okay if you're not good at it, as long as you like doing it, just go ahead, do it. Lastly, as Riddhi also said that, um, you know, not we are not all of us, although we are talking in this forum about our achievements, it's not that we've always achieved everything. There have been failures. So it is okay if you're stuck up in, wrong jobs, or your grades aren't that great. It's all right. Just um, see to, I mean, aspire higher. Don't look backwards as to what went wrong, or just move, get over that. So with that, I would like to finish my presentation, and I would be happy to take any more questions that are relevant to me. And thank you, Maniben Shivji, for this opportunity, and for recognition even in the past that they have given out at different point in my academic and professional life. So thank you once again.
Thank you, Riddhi. It was very nice to hear your journey where you've touched many lives, and also your research bent, your writing skills, paper writing skills. They've all been, your entire journey was inspirational. There are some questions on YouTube. Maybe we can take those, and then maybe we can have one rapid round where you all can ask questions to each other. Uh, Sanjay Shah says, I mean, he has each of the panelists has impressed on the co-curricular activities undertaken during your school and college times. Has anyone ever felt to make it a career after choosing the present career? Any one of you all can answer.
Uh,
Or rather, I would put it the other way around. Maybe as a career, or I would say what are the life skills that have helped you all to pursue this career also? The career in which you are. Either ways you can answer. I'm just adding my bit.
I'll start.
Start.
Yeah, so yes, absolutely. As Sanjay uncle said, since I have a sports background, in fact, a very rich and healthy sports background, after being a linguist, a polyglot, I did have thoughts, why didn't I make a career in sports? Why didn't I start as a sports enthusiast or trainer? But there were certain constraints, and right now also, so it's very tough, I feel, after swapping all your entirely your career. And the life skills that helped me to be what I am today, again, I'll say the life skills are my failures. Whatever I am today, it's because of the failures that I got in my school. What I learned, hard work, persistence, and a never say die attitude. So I would say it's both my careers are a bit interchanged. So there's sports and who helped me be a linguist. So they both are well connected.
Anyone else has anything to add? Yeah, Richa?
Maybe, I mean, I do love classical dancing. So I also did my Bharatanatyam, Arangetram as well when I was in my school, which was ninth grade. But I think I would keep that as a hobby for myself, as an art. And I don't think I would ever, I think when you compare art on one side and professionalism, or something which makes money on the other side, I feel that art values above it. It's priceless. So I would probably think of it as I would continue to do Bharatanatyam if time permits, but that will be solely based on hobby and just having things to love, which is not professional. And in terms of some skills, I think discipline is number one. If you want something, I think it will just come from within, that discipline that you want. at 4 o'clock, or maybe having sleepless nights, and you can't wait for the day to begin. I think it just comes from within. So it's more about how much you want that thing. So that's my answer for life skills.
Yes, Riddhi. Maru, would you like to say something? Hitmee?
Yeah, sure. So I never thought of singing as a profession because I always thought I was better in academics than singing. That is the reason why I had to be pushed to pursue actually, but I'm thankful for it. Regarding life skills, um, I think the question was which life skills helped you persist in the profession?
What are the life skills that you learned in your co-curricular which helped you in your profession?
Uh, I can't think of anything as such, but yeah, I think it has always been something, even now, as a breezer, which helps you kind of keep yourself sane in when you are, bombarded by your professional duties and everything. So, music or anything that interests you keeps you saner.
So, Hitmee, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, so hobby and your passion are two different things. So hobby is
Can
something.
you be louder?
Hello.
Yeah.
So hobby and profession are two different things. Your hobby is something you like to do, and passion is something that motivates you to further in life. So yeah, I never thought about making my hobby my profession, but I would like to do it as a part time or along with my profession. I would like to continue my hobby. And
So
about the life.
painting and all can be a de-stressor.
Yes, absolutely. It was a de-stressor for the entire lockdown period. And about the life skills, I think what made me, what helped me in my professional life is patience. That when you start a new hobby, you need patience because you can't just excel at it on the first day. So that's what has helped me in my professional life.
Sanjay Shah, who's also the member of the donor family, he's a trustee on this organization. He also says that learning from failure is a message for parents who tend to pressurize their kids. So this is a message which has come from all the four of you all quite strongly. And he also further asks, I don't know, says to Riddhi that you could be a volleyball coach.
Yeah, someday maybe I can be a volleyball coach. That can be my retirement plans. Maybe we don't know.
Retirement plans, my God. Okay. Yeah. So you will have a rapid round for each one. You can ask questions to each one of you.
Okay, so I have a question for Riddhi Gada. Firstly, it was really fabulous the way you talked and you glorified your failures, and I think that's a good way for the younger generation to send on a message, because it's like the iceberg concept. Like you cannot, like, once you receive a medal, they only see that part, that is 1/4, but they don't see the entire 3/4 of the iceberg, which is submerged below, of how much effort it has been taken, how much burning of midnight oil when everybody's sleeping, peacefully. There are people who are like, studying or working or, in sports. So my question to you is that at what point did you know that you wanted to learn French and Mandarin? And if I want to learn French, for example, how difficult it is, even like for basic level, like, how much time and effort does it take? So that's my question. Like, when did you know that you wanted to learn French? And if I want to, how long is it going to take for me to learn?
I'd just like to add something over here.
Yeah.
That Riddhi has already volunteered to teach Mandarin through Matushri Manibai Trust.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's going to be open very soon. And it's a 3-day session on Mandarin. It's an introductory session on Mandarin. So yeah, you can.
Maybe she can do Mandarin and French as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, replying to your answers, when I had French in my 11th and 12th, at that time I was just studying for marks to get higher percentage. That's it. But when I came in my degree college, I started to give French a try. And when I started learning language in my degree college, I came to know there is so much about languages and cultures. Like right now, હું તમારી સાથે ગુજરાતીમાં વાત કરીશ, આવું કચ્છીમાં પણ વાત કહીને, and I'll talk in English also. But
Correct.
everything has a different importance and different way of speaking. And there's so much that we don't realize when we speak a language. So that's why I wanted to explore this part. And there were a lot of sacrifices that I made. Being from a commerce background, that's when in degree college I lost most of my friends because I was into French. I was deep down in French. I almost lost my sanity when I was learning French. So yeah, and it depends on the kind of interest and sincerity. The point that you mentioned, discipline. The more you know about a language, the less you know. So on an average, to master a language, it should take around 3 years. But if it depends on what you want to learn about the language. So yeah.
For the
Thank
basic,
you.
introductory French, we also have this on the YouTube. There are 3 days, 3 sessions conducted by Ashni. Maybe Richa, if you just want to get a feel of French, you can attend that. You can view the videos. They are
Definitely.
available on the YouTube.
And I would advise give this Mandarin 3 day session a try because it's going to be a super amazing and super interesting seminar. Mandarin being a very different language and having a very different background.
So could you say in Mandarin, like, how are you? And then the same sentence, how are you in French as well?
Yes.
I mean, just for our knowledge, not
Yeah,
to, you know.
Definitely. So in Mandarin, it's Ni hao mao, are you good? And in French, it's Comment allez-vous? How are you?
Lovely, lovely.
Thank you.
I have a question as well for Riddhi. Does learning a new language, a foreign language, make understanding the culture of the country where it is spoken better? And how has it enriched you as a person to learn about new cultures, if yes?
Okay, so yes, foreign language has enlarged my horizon because when I was speaking Kutchi, Gujarati, Hindi, Marathi, all I knew was something relating to that language. Like I never knew that in France, whenever you are going, it's very impolite if you don't wave and say hello to a stranger. Whereas in India, we just tend to ignore strangers, which is not a right thing, it's just a cultural difference. So when I learned languages, my horizon was entirely enlarged. I started to see things from various point of view. And one of the major learnings that I got, like Hitmee also said in Jainism, Anekantvad, which is you are also right, she is also right, even I am right. We just have different point of views. And that is what foreign languages teach you.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah.
Hetri, your volume. You're not audible, Hetri.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, now you're audible.
So my question is to Dr. Richa. I want to know about your journey from Bombay to Zurich and what hardships did you face and what were the changes that you had to inculcate in yourself?
I can't hear you.
Repeat
Hello?
her question. I'll repeat her question.
Okay.
Her question is to Dr. Richa. From Bombay to Zurich, what are the challenges that you faced? What were the things that you learned? Am I right, Hetri?
Okay, so firstly, it was a lot of patience because obviously at that time I was nobody. Like I just was a dentist, right, with 1 degree BDS, and as you've seen, he had like 3 lines of degrees. So I was patient enough, and then I realized that he had this Cleft Children International. So I joined to work as a fellow. So my credentials were already in his office and they had approved it with the contract and all. Now, my journey from Bombay to Zurich, it's an absolute exceptional one because I was traveling solo for the first time alone in a foreign country. I had never traveled like even from here to Chennai alone. Yeah, like never in my life. And then all of a sudden I have to fly away alone. So firstly, I mean, I was okay with English, but the Zurich part of Switzerland is German speaking. So everybody speaks German, and most of them, they don't, like how in India, like everybody knows English. So in Switzerland, it was not like that. And then from on the airport, I had to reach to the hotel, and I got lost. Like I arrived in Zurich and I got lost. I didn't know where I was. And it was just a very adventurous trip, I would say, as well, with regards to the journey as well. But it just made me, after having got lost and after having taken help from people, and then, you know, showing like people like, okay, I want to go here, like here, you know, you can't even pronounce the street name because it's in German. So, and then finally I reached my hotel like safely. I called up the CCI president and, you know, Mrs. Doris, and she was kind enough to just come and pick me, because I was like, you just come and pick me up. I cannot travel from the hospital to, you know, from the hotel to the hospital as well. So I think it's just the more you travel and the more you get lost, you know, it gives you confidence later on that, okay, if you can get lost you can travel anywhere in the world. So I feel, yeah, the trip, it really taught me to be more confident as well.
Yeah, and Richa, that's where languages come to the rescue.
Exactly. You know, hence I asked you the question. I was like, okay, I think German is still more difficult, but French, maybe I can try in some free time and learn it. So it's wonderful that you know so many languages. Like, it's really beneficial. And the best part is, so because I've been to Germany as well, and I've been to Switzerland as well, you know, they both talk German language, but the accent of the way they talk in German is also different. So a person who's living in Germany finds it difficult to even understand a little bit of Swiss German people as well. So yeah, it is really good. I think it should be one of the co-curriculars that everybody should learn as well, because it helps to converse. I mean, Professor Zeiler, he's a Swiss German person, and I was thinking to myself, oh, I wish I knew Swiss German, you know, I would be talking to him more in his native language. So yes, absolutely.
There's a question on the YouTube from Mahendra Bhai Cheda, who is also a trustee of this organization. And the question is to Dr. Richa. Is your dentistry portal project idea still in progress?
Oh, that, no. The answer is no, because I think you need to have IT professionals to do it. And maybe now, I mean, at that point, like if there wasn't Corona and there wasn't lockdown, you know, it was a different time. But I think it was more of IT based, and you needed more IT people as compared to dentists in that portal. So the answer at the moment, it's not there. But thank you, Dr. Chera, Mahendra Chera ji, and it's really nice to hear from him, especially on the live interactive webinar, and definitely to give my regards to you know, Kala Auntie as well. Hi, Kala Auntie, thank you. You know, anja amare awards jera announce kaya ane aije awards kachi girls la kare deota ane tomade jo anjo ay asala kare. It's really nice to see that. So thank you so much.
I think, Riddhi, you have to ask a question. You have not been able to ask a question.
Yeah.
I'll give you that space to ask a question.
Thank you. So I have a question for Riddhi Maru. You
Yeah.
said you are a you are into psychology and clinical psychology and all. And when you talk to such people, so does that change you as a person when you talk to people, when you get to know their issues, and when you come back home, when you reflect on it, does that change you as a person, or how does it affect you?
Uh, that's a very good question, actually, and a very broad one. Um, it does, the profession in general and meeting people, it does change you as a person. Um, so sometimes you even, realize how the other person, so you learn a lot from the other person, and um, you also sometimes, even a child can teach you something. So yes, the skills that I've learned as a professional, um, you know empathy, you know shed, being in the shoes of the other person, with the as if quality, that you are not suffering, the person is suffering, but you can understand the suffering of the person. That your response to how things are would have been same if you were in the same, if you were faced with the same circumstance. But also one skill that they teach us, and it comes much later with practice, and is that shedding the skin of a psychologist. When you get out of the clinic, you don't carry along their problems, because then it starts affecting your, um, you in personal life. Having said this, it doesn't mean that you put a facade of, you know when you are showing some kind of empathy, or understanding to the patients, that you are putting on a facade or a mask of a psychologist, or you know it all, and then you come back, you don't. So it's not like that. So it's a very complex question to answer, to be really honest. But yes, it has changed me as a person. Learning about psychology has, meeting new people has, you realize over the time that the more disparate people, different people you meet, um, they are more similar than different to you. Whether it is people from different cultures, or people who have mental illness versus those who don't. Um, Over the years, you see a lot more similarity, a lot more universal human traits in people, rather than, because we as people are very divisive. We say, oh, us versus them. And, that's where all the prejudices come in play. But the more you see people, cultures, different people, you realize more similarities between us and them rather than differences. So that's a realization that it has taught me.
Okay.
I have a question for all the four of y'all. What I can see the common connect between all the four of y'all is where I can see Riddhi, in the Riddhi Gada, in the phase of volunteering through different ways. I also saw Hitmee involved in the COVID-19 work in a big way, even as a student. And I also see Riddhi Maru involved with contributing to the health of people, the mental health of
Definitely.
patients, because you are in the clinical psychology aspect. And I do see Richa also, where she is also involved in the medical front and definitely contributing to the well-being, the physical well-being of the people. Physical ultimately also leads you to the mental well-beings. They're all connected. You cannot really differentiate between. What are your views as far as profession and social work or contribution to the society? Do you think that they should be two different compartments, or do you think they should be intertwined within your career? And is there anything more that you would like to say on that?
Okay. I think charity, I think, goes hand in hand with your soul. I think it's the way, I feel that your feeling of giving back to the society, of what you have learned from the society. So how I see it is that I have learned a skill, for example, extraction or painless surgery. And that is what I have learned. And I would probably want to give that back. So, for example, we have these at Bidra Hospital every year in January. There are camps, and there are villages like far, far away. There are no kacha rasta, khali way. And it's just that you have these people, they wait for 6 months with toothache, because they don't have the means to even travel or have the means to even get their teeth extracted. So I would definitely feel that whatever I learned of my skill to put to practice, which a person can be benefited from. So in a way, to do charity in that format. So that would be my take. And also, I don't know if anybody has experienced this, but I personally have that. It's when I extract teeth, or do camps, pro bono surgeries as well. It's the happiness that I get. It's like sometimes I feel like, oh, I do it for myself, because the peace that you get, when someone comes and thanks you for what you did for them, I just feel that I do charity because it makes me happy. Like it makes me feel at peace. So that would be my take on the two subjects.
So what, Richa, you have concluded is it should be intertwined into your profession, and it's a part of you because it's a part of your own happiness.
Absolutely. Thank you for concluding. Thank you.
Can we hear from the others?
I agree to that as well. Sorry, what? I agree to that as well. I think it should be intertwined into your professional, and I think our professions are like that. I think medical and paramedical, and even Riddhi is doing a lot for the community now, which I was itching to compliment you for that. Congratulations, and even Hitmee for doing those camps that we saw pictures of. They looked really. I commend your commitment and to serve the society. So yeah. I think they should be intertwined with your career professions as well.
Yeah. You are involved with the patients. Since you are already involved with the patients, I think when you are able to make somebody's pain, you're able to bring down the pain of someone. I think that is giving you happiness also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my views on this are almost the same. I think the profession and the charity work should be melanged. It should be interrelated. And my major ideology on this is I volunteer at various career guidance seminars and all. That's kind of charity for me. I just volunteer there for the major reasons that the students that come there for the knowledge, for the guidance, they shouldn't be suffering what I have suffered in my past. For example, when I wanted to learn French, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who is the best person to teach me French. I didn't know which best colleges are available. What is the loan structure? What are the fee structure? So when I know it, I have mastered it, I can give it back to the students who are aspiring to do that profession. So in a way, I'm basically helping those students and I'm growing the future charity persons. So they'll come back again to the society with the same knowledge, same profession, and they'll continue this cycle.
Very truly said. Yes, Hetvi?
Even I agree that your profession and your charity work is fine.
We can't hear you, Hetvi. You'll have to be louder.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm not at home, so I cannot. It is on my laptop, and I'm at a hotel right now, so I cannot do this network issue. So yeah, it has to be intertwined. I truly agree. But along with your professional, you can do a lot of other charity work. Like if you just help, if you just go to some slum area and just teach someone. I mean, that's a really small thing to do, but it will change an entire generation of that person. So yeah, not just your profession, but there are a lot of other things which all of us need to do. And it is, I believe, every person here who is privileged enough to have those facilities, at least once in a year, you can give your, if you can do some charity work that would help the society in a very big
So I
way.
think what I can conclude from your words are that yes, it should be intertwined in the career, but you should also go beyond and do something additional whenever it's possible. So I'm just connecting it to the next question by Mahendra Bhai Cheda, that after COVID period, will you, I think after, or I would add the word during COVID period, will you commit your time to contribute to the KVO girls through MMSD KKF every week or month or whatever? And how? What are your suggestions for it? I think Riddhi's already made her baby steps uh, for MMSD KKF through the language that she's going to teach.
Absolutely. I think when it comes to MMS DKKF, I think we would give everything, in a blink of an eye. So it's just that someone has to say, like, okay, Richa, he karega, bas hanke hi kam khapato, and you just do it. So I don't think we would like segregate it like in months or weeks, that we would give time. It's not like that. I think for KVO and for all, I mean, Dr. Ela, I mean, I have known you as well, like since such a long time, and such beautiful work that you do in connecting these kids and all of us as well. And I'm sure you would have also seen us, from basic level, like going up, as well. So I think I think it's just going to be in a blink of an eye. Like if we don't have to think, we would just do it. That's that would be how I take the community.
Y'all are our pride, and we can really bank on y'all.
It's
There are many KVO girls and women who need support, and this is an organization which works towards it.
yes.
And I'm sure you'll all agree to support it in every way.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
absolutely. Like we are glad that we have someone, like yourself as the face. So definitely, we're all inspired by you, and we also hope that with our talks, someone else, like a small 10th standard kid, is also inspired by us.
Absolutely. To add on to what Richa said, this concept of tips from the toppers, tips from the champions, apna time aayega. I personally had a lot of friends who were speakers on this, and something that motivated me the most was apna time aayega, on how young budding entrepreneurs, even though if they are not successful or whatever their stories, this is a perfect platform to talk about it, and this platform motivates us so much, because when you talk you get motivated, when you let it out you are motivated. So it's one of its kind initiative that we are doing this.
Thank you so much. We really get encouraged by your words, because sometimes we wonder whether we are meeting the needs of the youth. And I think when we hear this, we feel that, okay, we are probably on the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riddhi, I think, wants to say something. Riddhi Maru.
Yes, again, speaking in the same tones, that I would also love to be a part of it, which I have been, since, but more so involved in the kind of work that y'all are doing, for the society, our community. So, yeah.
I think
So,
no other organization in the world is contributing so much. Any other?
Etvi, we are not able to hear you. Yeah,
I,
louder.
I think no other organization in this world is so active like KVO. I mean, it has done wonders in every field, not just education or business or pleasure to be a part of it and help
I
the
agree to
organization.
I agree to Hitmee, and I think most of us agree to this, that the KVO community as such has been very forward looking and has been very passionate about their own uh, fellow beings in the community, and therefore have done immensely with respect to so many needs of the different people. And it is true that in the world, probably we may not find another community as active for each other as the KVO community. We definitely endorse those words, and it's always nice to hear them from the youth. We are actively involved and we are definitely aware of it. But when we hear it from the youth, we definitely know that we have the future generation who also appreciates and endorses and surely will take this entire torch forward. I mean, that's the commitment that we can see from all of you all. Uh, I would just like to give you all the last chance if you want to say something, anything different or anything that you missed out. I always like to give because I don't want you all to go away with some thoughts in your mind. If you have them, just say it.
One word to describe KVO is Atmanirbhar.
Atmanirbhar. Yes, very true. Very rightly said. So, with this, I would just like to say a few words, the last few words on behalf of Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji KVO Kanya Keruni Fund, uh, which is under the aegis of KVO Thanakwasi Majan. I would like to thank all the four panelists, and I would like to say that all the four have one common note, and they've all been working towards society and the KVO community, whether it is the Bidra Trust, whether it is the different NGOs for education, whether you are contributing not only to the KVO but even beyond the KVO to the different human beings that are there in the world and in the country, in your space, in your locale, in your locality. That is also a very big contribution to the country and the world. I really feel very proud of the four champions that we were able to present today. And we really wish that you'll continue your good work, continue to deliver, and continue to your heart. You continue to give to the society the way you have. Again, I would say that coincidentally, we have two medical professionals today. We have one arts professional and one commerce professional, but all the four in your own way have found a way to contribute to yourself, to your family, and to the society. Your families are definitely proud of you all, although you are thanking them, but they feel proud because you have achieved so much in such a young age. So on behalf of everyone, the community and Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji KVO Kanya Keruni Fund, we thank you for your very honest sharing, the failures, the success stories, and the journey, the advice, the suggestions to the younger generation, very well prepared and well presented. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.